So people then, the moment they feel that familiar emotion and that emotion starts to activate circuits in their brain equal to that emotional state, they are now thinking and feeling in the past. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. Because thoughts are the vocabulary of the mind, and feelings are the vocabulary of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. And the redundancy of thinking the same thoughts that turn on the same circuits in your brain to produce the same level of mind begins to signal another part of your brain to make a chemical for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking. And the moment you feel that feeling, the brain is monitoring the body, and it begins to generate more thoughts equal to that feeling, which creates more chemicals for you to feel the same way, and then think the same way, and feel the same way, and think the same way. And the redundancy of that cycle conditions the body to subconsciously become the mind of that emotion. And the moment that occurs, the body literally is in the past. And it's believing it's in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. The body literally is in the past. And you can't create a new future holding on to the emotions of the past. So then, would you agree with me? The moment you become conscious of your unconscious thoughts, the moment you become aware of your automatic habits and behaviors, the moment you observe those emotions that bring you to a lower denominator every day in your life, the moment you're becoming conscious of what you've been unconscious to, because 95% of who you are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes that function like a subconscious computer program, that the moment you become conscious of what you've been unconscious to, now you're ready to change? Come on. And if you can observe those states of mind and body, it means you are no longer the program. You are the consciousness observing the program, and you begin to objectify your subjective self, because for the first time you are looking at yourself through the eyes of someone else. And because of the size of the frontal lobe, 40% of your entire brain, the crowning achievement of the human being, the latest piece of neurological machinery, the fact that you can pay attention to those states of mind and body means you could modify who you are to do a better job in life, and that's called neuroplasticity. And so then, here's the old self, and here's the new self, and you got to cross a river. And the hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. And if a habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that's acquired through frequent repetition. A habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your brain. Would you agree then that the moment you decide to no longer complain, make excuses, feel sorry for yourself, talk about your best friend, judge your coworker, the moment you decide to do something differently and make a different choice, you just stepped into that river. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. Get ready is going to feel unfamiliar. There is going to be some uncertainty, and there is going to be some unpredictability. And some people would rather hold on to their guilt than step into the unknown. Some people would rather be unworthy and suffering than take a chance in possibility. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, the body, which has been conditioned emotionally to be the mind, wants to return back to familiar territory. And it starts sending signals back to the brain, and you just said, I'm no longer going to be a victim today. And the first 2 hours goes really well. But the body, which has been conditioned to be the mind, the servant is now the master. It starts sending signals back to the brain. And you know what it says. Why don't you start tomorrow? Tomorrow's a better day. I really can't do this. It's too hard. It's my ex-husband's fault. It's my father's fault. This doesn't feel right. And that's the body sending signals back to the brain, causing you to think in the past. And if you respond to that thought as if it's true, that thought will lead to the same choice, which will lead to the same behavior, which will create the same experience, which will produce the same emotion, and then you'll say, this feels right. No, it feels familiar. Crossing that river from the old self to the new self is the neurological, the biological, the chemical, the hormonal, genetic death of the old self. And people who step into that void, who step into that unknown, will say to me, Dr. Joe, I'm in the unknown. I can't predict my future. And I'll tell them the best way to predict your future is to create it. Not from the known, but from the unknown. And that place of unknown is the field of potentials called the quantum field.